In the United States, as of 2017, our schools are receiving a C grade in regards of grades, chances for success, K through 12 achievement, and school finances. In the 2014-2015 school year, there were approximately 91,000 public schools. Of these, roughly 67,000 were elementary schools, and the remaining 24,000 were secondary schools. Attending these institutions this year will be 56.6 million students. Of these, 24.1 million will be white. The remaining 26.6 million students will be Black, Hispanic, Asian, Pacific Islander, American Indian, or students of 2 or more races. Teaching these students this year will be approximately 3.2 million teachers nationwide, which makes the national teacher-to-student ratio approximately 16:1. The Annie Casey Foundation mentions the inequalities in education regarding race. Embedded racial inequalities produce unequal opportunities for educational success. Systematic policies, practices, and stereotypes work against children and youth of color to affect their opportunity to achieve educational success. In 2012, the annual diploma counts were astoundingly various amongst 4 ethnic groups, including white, Black, Hispanic, and Pacific Islander. The gap for Black students was approximately 436,000, less than half of the amount received by white students. Living in the United States, your child has a 77.6% chance of success in the academic system. However, 23% of our nation's students are not as lucky.
No.
I agree with her answer.
Yeah, white people have the advantage.
Do I need to expand on that? Why? I don't know. I just think people are inherently slightly racist, and especially when you get to kind of high power positions, people's like subconscious will often just kind of guide them the wrong way. I mean, they've done studies into it, haven't they?
There were maybe 1 or 2 Black individuals in
It's been like almost entirely all white people.
How do I say this nicely? Country, hillbilly-esque.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
It affects everything because just from the get-go, you're already like, you're expected to do more just because you're a person of color. Like you're expected to do great.
Try a little harder.
Yeah, you have to try harder in class.
Being a person of color, you get treated a little unequally than a white guy, in my opinion.
How gender within race affects student success in K through 12. Gender can be defined as a made-up social construct in which society uses to divide work in the home and economic production, legitimize authority, organize sexuality and emotional life, define social norms of men and women. Gender stratification is the social ranking of men and women, also known as gender inequality, where men are usually ranked greater than women in the same social class. In efforts to combat gender inequality in schools, Title IX was passed only 46 years ago to legally grant equal access to all federally funded programs in schools. Sadly, Title IX isn't enough because gender inequality is still a common problem overlooked in schools today. According to gender bias in today's classroom, the curriculum, in elementary school readings, male characters outnumber female characters 2-1. This means that elementary schools are already teaching students that males are more important than females. In 2012, Black male students were suspended 19.3% more than Black female students and 26.9% more than white male students. Black female students were suspended 19.6% more than white female students. In 2013, dropout rates for male students were 2% higher than female students. And Black and Hispanic male students drop out 4% more than Black and Hispanic female students. Meanwhile, white
males drop out is only 1% higher than white female dropouts. Although more male drop out than female dropouts are more likely to be unemployed, earn lower wages, and be on public support.
It was near a military base, so we had everything from Caucasian, African American, Asian. It was completely diverse. So.
Do you think it was like equally diverse, or do you think there was a larger population of like African Americans or like of like white people? Or
I'd say it was actually pretty half and half. Maybe a little bit more Caucasian than African American, but it was pretty much equally diverse. There were AP classes offered for English and math, and then Cloud Community College was near our high school, and they offered classes, but you'd have to sign up, pay for them, and actually attend the university. So there was only AP for math and reading. I was in AP Literature, and it was primarily white. I think, like, as soon as junior year hit, all of our teachers were pushing, like, where are you going to go to school? Have you started looking at colleges? Are you going to apply to college? But a lot of the, I feel like, diverse part of the population, like the African Americans and stuff, mainly were trying to get into college for, like, sports or athletics or, like, on grants or scholarships. And that Sophie asked me, for like college prep and how our teachers were pushing us, I noticed with a lot of the African American peers that I had, they weren't looking at colleges based off of where they wanted to go because of what career they wanted to pursue. They were looking at colleges based off of where they could get scholarships for athletics or maybe their grades. It wasn't anything about like their own choice. They just wanted to go where they could get the best education. Okay, so at my high school, I think our graduation rate was like 70%, so I don't think that's too bad, but most of my peers that I like still know or keep in contact with, or just maybe know from other people, they either graduated and went to college, or they graduated and stayed in our hometown and are pursuing like fast food or other small business
like working
careers.
class
Class jobs. Yep. Down from our high school, we had an alternative school, and I my senior year, we actually, it was kind of strange. One of our teachers was telling us the statistics about who was in the alternative school, and over half of the people in the alternative school were African American, and most of the people that were in the alternative school didn't graduate. So if that,
can you explain what the alternative school is?
If you got in trouble too much, or if you were like failing classes, you would get sent to the alternative school.
How does social class and race affect students in K-12 schools? Annette LaRoe's article talks about two schools, Prescott and Colton. Parents at Prescott volunteered, but the parents at Colton did not. One explanation for this is social class. Social class provides parents with different resources and outlooks, which in turn shape their behavior. Teachers request parents to be involved in the classroom and in their child's schoolwork. Some examples of this are help with homework, go to school events, read to their children, and volunteer in the classroom. So what skills do parents need to meet these requests? Good reading and math skills. Many parents had stopped their education after finishing high school, and some dropped out of high school. LaRoe says these skills are often something that high school graduates and dropouts lack. Many parents volunteered in the classroom at Prescott, but in Colton's first grade class, a lot of parents lacked the reading and math skills necessary to help their child with homework. Parents had a hard time understanding what the teacher asked of them.
School-to-prison pipeline refers to the collection of policies, practices, conditions, and prevailing consequence that facilitate both the criminalization within educational environments and the processes by which the criminalization results in the incarnation of youth and young adults. Black female and male students have experienced higher levels of exclusionary discipline since 1991 than any other group of students. Black females and males represent 17% of youth population ages 10 to 17, but are 58% of all juveniles sent to adult prison. Nationwide, Black males represent the largest subpopulation in confinement. In 2010, Black males represented 42% of juvenile males in residential placement. The U.S. Department of Education's 2014 Civil Rights Data Collection provides a comprehensive report that gives a clearer picture of how race and ethnicity affects the way students learn and are treated in all levels of education. The report states Black, Latino, and Native Americans have a bigger chance of going to schools with a higher concentration of first-year teachers than white students. The same report states that Black students were expelled at least 3 times the rate of white students, and observed that Black girls were suspended at higher rates than all other girls, and most boys. This report makes it clear that many young people are being marginalized because of their race. On an intra-state basis, many of the states with the widest disparities in educational expenditures are large industrial states. In these states, many minorities and economically disadvantaged students are located in property-poor urban districts, which fare the worst in educational expenditures, or in rural districts, which suffer from fiscal inequity. Even within urban school districts, schools with high concentrations of low-income and minority students receive fewer instructional resources than others, and tracking systems exacerbate these inequalities by segregating many low-income and minority students within schools. In combination, these policies leave minority students with fewer and lower quality books, curriculum materials, laboratories, and computers, significantly larger class sizes, less qualified and experienced teachers, and less access to high quality curriculum.